right, good evening, everybody. I hope that you can hear me. I see someone that is joining us this morning or afternoon. Please let me know if you can hear me in the chat so that I can make adjustments for the audio or the sound um, before the hearing starts. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And also, please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come on your way in. We are here this morning for the Kelli Bryant, another preliminary exam for Kelli Bryant, who we have deemed the squalor mom. Of course, everyone is familiar with this case. She is accused of abandoning her children for several years, um, somewhere between 4 and 5 years, leaving them alone and neglecting them and all of that. So she is being charged with 3 counts of child abuse and also 3 counts of welfare fraud for benefits that she received for the children that were not used for their care and well-being. So those cases has been combined at this point, and so they are trying both cases at the simultaneously, and that is what is going on at this point. The image that you see on the screen is from the uh, probable cause hearing where she was bound over. She was actually released from jail for a time period. Uh, and so we're going to go over all of that. I also have some court documents that I need to share with you guys so that we are caught up on everything that has transpired. Thank you, KB. Thank you so much. Volume was a little low when you first came on. Okay. Is it good now? Let me know if it's good now. At any rate, I've got some court documents that I need to share with you guys. They're quite extensive and quite graphic, going through everything. And so, okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this morning. Um, yeah, so I've got some court documents that I need to share with you guys. Good morning, Sunshine. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, I've got these documents that I need to share with you guys. I can kind of show you some of the things that some of the things that I picked up so far. In the last hearing, uh, this officer, let me see if I can get the um, image of him up. Yeah, this officer here. Uh, he was the officer, the first to the scene when the owner of the townhome where Miss Bryant and her children, where she left her children, uh, he was the first on the scene because the property owner called. Excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold. The property owner called the Oakland County Sheriffs to do a welfare check because he hadn't heard anything from the mom. She hadn't paid her rent in a while or whatever. I still have questions as to why or how these children were in that home. They say up to probably 4 or 5 years without anyone recognizing that they had not been seen. They hadn't been to school. And we're seeing more and more cases like this where CPS and the police departments and all of that are dropping the ball with these children that are missing in action. So this is something that really needs to be looked into. However, this is Deputy Quincy Curtis. Hi, Denise. Hello. Thank you so much. I've been mostly on the replay. Uh, what is Denise saying? Hi Deborah, everyone. I've been mostly on replay due to work constraints. Thank you so much. You know what? I've been sick for a long time. I hadn't been on in quite a while. Thank you, Kristen. And Kristen is a 9-month member of the channel. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Christine, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I've been kind of missing in action myself. I've had a quite serious surgery back in April, and I was out of commission for a few months. So I'm glad to see you, though, Denise and Christine and everyone that's joining us. So let me give you some highlights from, let me see if I can pull up this. Well, let's listen, take a listen to some of the things he talked about. He talked about the conditions of the home, what he observed of the children, how their toenails and things were like that were so long that they couldn't walk. The two girls, interestingly, were um, uh, so weak and uh, I really don't have the word to describe it, but they basically had to lock arms to hold each other up. They were hunched over and could not stand up straight and all of that. So the two girls who are the youngest of the children, the boy is the oldest, the 15-year-old, and I think the girls are 13 and 12. At any rate, the two girls had to hold each other up, and apparently they didn't do anything without even when offered food, they would not eat without the brother giving them permission to eat. Some very interesting information that we found out. So I have the documents, the transcripts from this hearing. This was done on May 16th, but I'll let you guys take a listen to this for a few minutes while we wait on court cameras to come on for today's hearing. Let me back up a second.
People versus Kelli Bryant, the case number 250216FY, and also case number 250310FY.
Good morning, Your Honor. Erica Smith appearing on behalf of the people for the welfare fraud case.
Good morning, Erica appearing on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Susan, on behalf of Ms. Bryant, both cases.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Ben Bennett on behalf of Ms. Bryant, on behalf of the child abuse case.
And Ms. Bryant, would you state your name for the record, please?
Kelli Bryant.
Thank you. This is the time of the preliminary exams on both cases. As to the welfare fraud case dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that we are going to have a waiver on that case. I think our inclination is to have the child abuse exam go first, make sure that that's bound over or is at least concluded, and then waive on the welfare fraud case, just to keep the two cases together. So however the court wants to do that, that was our thought, but if the court has a different suggestion, we're obviously open to that as well.
That would be fine if there's no objection.
There's no objection. We just like to keep everything together.
All right, that's fine. So I'll circle back to that at the conclusion of the child abuse case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. As to the child abuse matter, parties are ready to move forward?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are there any preliminary matters for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. The parties are asking for a mutual sequestration order. I do have Detective Frisch, who is the officer in charge in this case. I asked for him to remain. And I have the first witness, Deputy Curtis, who's in the courtroom right now.
No objection.
I will know mutual sequestration of witnesses until they're called to officer in charge of the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Secondly, because the victims in this case are children, we are asking for their names to not be said today in court. My suggestion would be to label them as the oldest child, the middle child, and the youngest, just to protect them.
And Your Honor, we spoke about this before. We have no desire for their names to be repeated in court over and over again, so we're in agreement.
And because they are minor children, the court can agree with that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. There was stipulations to the exhibits for purposes of examination only. I do have photographs of the home. They're labeled as exhibits 1 through 20. I do have them on a USB for the court. And I also have hard copies of the pictures. Secondly, the 21 and 24, the people's exhibit, are the forensic interviews of the victims in this case. So there are 3 forensic interviews that were conducted at Care House. And we are asked if there are stipulations that they should be admitted for purposes of exam only for in-camera review.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And I will note that the stipulation provision, that's for these exhibits as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
1 through 20, and also stipulation for the admission of 29 and 24 for the purposes of disciplinary examination.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then lastly, there were some stipulations to facts in this case. First, that Kelli Bryant is the mother of the named victims and that she had custody over them.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Second, that all the 3 named victims are under the age of 18.
That is also correct, Your Honor.
And third, that Kelli Bryant was named on the lease of 6660 Lydia Avenue in the city of Pontiac.
That is also correct, Your Honor.
Court will accept those stipulations as facts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
People can call it first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people called that in first.
Deputy, if you come forward, and I'll swear you in. You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Deputy. Deputy, are you employed?
Yes.
Where are you employed?
Oakland County Sheriffs.
Spell the last name.
Oh, I apologize. Could you state and spell your name?
Deputy Curtis, QUI, and CURTIS.
Thank you. Where are you employed?
Oakland County Sheriff's Office, substation.
And how long have you been in the Pontiac substation?
Just under 6 years.
And what's your current position there?
Patrol shelter.
Okay, can you walk me through what you do in that role?
I patrol the city of Pontiac, answer calls for service.
Okay. And were you working on February 14, 2025 around 1:30 p.m.?
Yes.
And were you dispatched to 660 Lydia Lane?
Yes.
And is that in the city of Pontiac?
It is.
County of Oakland?
Yes.
What was the nature of the dispatch?
There's a welfare check.
And did you arrive at 660 Lydia Lane?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you observe upon arrival?
Upon arrival, I made contact with the landlord for the residence. He was asked us to do a welfare check. He hasn't heard from the tenant in some time. Hadn't received payment in some time, so he was requesting a welfare check.
From your understanding, had there been an attempt for a welfare check earlier?
The day prior.
Was it successful?
No.
Do you know the circumstances of why it wasn't successful?
Yeah, deputies on scene weren't able to see anything inside, weren't able to gain access. Landlord came back the following day with the locksmith.
Okay. And what, if anything, did the locksmith do?
He was able to open the residence.
Can you describe what the residence looks like for the court?
It is an apartment-style townhouse with a garage underneath the residence. Where we were inside was through the garage, which with the residence would be upstairs above the garage.
And the locksmith was able to open the garage, correct?
Correct.
Upon walking in, what, if anything, did you observe?
I observed a large mold stain coming through the ceiling of the garage, which had been right under the residence. Through the garage door that was open, I immediately observed trash and feces all over the floor and a very extreme foul smell coming from the apartment.
And the garage is attached to the unit, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you enter the unit?
Yes.
Initial observations upon entering?
Right away, I observed a staircase to my left, a bedroom over to the right. I observed just trash piled everywhere. feces, cobwebs throughout the entire downstairs and garbage trailed all the way up the stairs.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness with the stipulated exhibits?
You may.
Thank you. I'm going to hand you the admitted exhibits 1 through 20. If you could look at the first picture, what do we see in that picture?
First picture would be the entrance to the garage.
Okay. And exhibit 2, what are we looking at?
The inside of the garage.
Thank you. And walk us through the next picture.
That is just through the garage door from picture 2, with the staircase on the left and the bedroom door on the right, and the piles of trash on the floor.
What else did you notice on the staircase itself beyond the garbage?
I will notice there was feces on the staircase as well.
Okay. And then ultimately, did you walk up the
I
stairway?
did.
What, if anything, did you observe when you walked up the stairway?
When I got to the top of the stairway, I observed, well, I reached, it was a living area. There was a couch in the middle that had trash piled on top of it, almost 4 feet in the air. Pizza boxes all over the place. There was just piles of feces. There was cobwebs hanging from the ceiling that you had to walk through.
Would you identify that? How would you identify that area that you're walking in? Was that the living space?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And then what did the living space, did it connect to any other parts of the home?
The living space connected to the kitchen. It was just kind of a follow-on room, which then had multiple bedrooms and bathroom all the same.
Okay. Starting with the kitchen, what were some of your observations within the kitchen?
Counters were completely covered in trash. Sink heads covered in trash. There was cobwebs from the ceiling almost all the way down to the counters. Feces throughout the kitchen as well.
When you refer to trash, were they in trash bags? What were you looking at?
Just empty pizza boxes, empty food wrappers, just piled up.
Okay. Was there any odor while you were walking through the home?
Yes, it was very foul. Our initial thought was we were checking the apartment for a dead body.
Okay. Now, you testified that there were also bedrooms that were in that living space or connected to that living space. Can you describe the bedrooms? How many were there?
I believe there's 3 bedrooms. They all appear to be the same. Lots of trash. Both bathrooms were covered in trash and feces as well.
Were there beds in those bedrooms?
One of them.
And how about the bed? Was there a bed set on that? How do you describe the bed?
There was a mattress on the bed frame. The mattress was stained and extremely dirty, had wrappers on it, wrappers all around it.
Okay. At any point were you attempting to clear the home?
Yes.
Can you describe to the court what clearing the home means?
Just ensuring that there's no dead body inside. We're trying to look and make sure that find anybody that might be inside.
While you were doing that, did anything unusual happen?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened?
As I was going through the living area, I came to a door on my right. I went to go open it and it was locked. I saw 2 more doors past that. As I began to go to the other 2 doors, I heard crying from inside that locked door.
Did it sound like crying from a number of people or one person? What did it sound like?
At the time, I believe it was multiple children.
What, if anything, did you do at that time?
At that time, I turned back around and addressed that locked door. I let them know I was the police, that I was not going to hurt them. They were safe, but they needed to come outside so we could check on their welfare.
Did they?
At first, they did not come outside. I was giving them multiple orders to come outside. At that time, a door from the bedroom behind me opened, and the oldest child exited that bedroom He had his hands up in the air, and he identified himself to us. I told him to tell the children to come outside, which he ordered them to come outside.
Okay. Now, what were your initial observations of the oldest child?
Oldest child, he came out without a shirt on. He had blue pants on that were covered in dirt. I observed his toenails to be extremely long. He was having a hard time walking straight.
What was his demeanor when you approached him?
Nervous. He was talking very fast, and he seemed frightened.
And ultimately, was he able to get the other children out of the bathroom?
Yes.
What did you observe happening?
The bathroom door opened, and I observed two females, children in the bathroom. They appeared hunched over. Their arms were connected. They were staying very close to each other. They were just crying. Couldn't really understand what they were trying to say. They were both looking down, wouldn't look at us, and they kept their arms tight to their chest.
Did you see the bathroom that they exited from?
Yes, after I got them to, after several minutes of getting them to come out of the bathroom, I did check it.
Describe what the bathroom looked like, please.
The bathroom was completely filled with trash and feces on the floor. The toilet was completely filled up to the brim with feces, and they were coming off the top. The bathroom tub had feces in it as well.
Do you know where the children were in the bathroom when they weren't coming out? Like where in the bathroom they were hiding?
I don't know for sure where they were at. I did hear the shower curtain that was connected to the tub move before they exited.
What happened next after they got out of the bathroom?
We had all three of the children together, and we were in the living space at that time. We were going to go have them have a seat in our patrol car so we could figure out what was going on, and I instructed them to start walking downstairs.
Anything noteworthy of them walking down the stairs?
Yes, all three of them appeared to have a hard time walking. The two younger children were very hunched over, again, keeping their arms tight to their body. They appeared to just hold hands or stay connected at all times. They were extremely uncomfortable with deputies walking behind them. They would turn to the side and do a side shuffle. They wouldn't walk, they wouldn't turn backs to us. So they were walking like back to back down the stairs.
And is this referring to the middle child and the youngest child? Describe the scene to the court. How many deputies were in the home at this time?
After we got down to the garage, there was at least 10 deputies there at this time.
Did you attempt to calm the children down?
Yes.
Were you successful in doing that?
Not very much.
Okay, why do you say that?
They just did not appear to become any more calm. They were very frightened. It appeared they hadn't had interaction with other people.
Okay. Did you speak to them?
I did.
Who did you speak to in particular?
I spoke to all three.
Okay. Now, starting with the oldest child, where did you speak to him?
I had him have a seat in the back of my car, and then I spoke to him there.
Okay. Did you ask him when Miss Bryant was, or where his mom was?
I did.
What, if anything, did you learn?
The oldest child informed me that he lives at the apartment.
I'm going to object to hearsay at this time.
Your Honor, I believe this would fall under MRE 8031, present sense impression, the statement describing the condition or the event while it was immediately happening.
Your Honor, I guess for purposes of exam, it's probably appropriate on the present sense impression.
I understand the nature of the objection, but it would be permitted.
Thank you. Continue, please.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Did you ask him when the last time that the defendant lived in the home?
I did. 2020 to 2021.
Did he make any other statements to you?
Informed me that he was there along with his two sisters.
Did you speak with the middle child?
Yes.
Where did you speak to her?
Also in the backseat of a different patrol car.
Did she make any statements to you?
I was just trying to get the names of the two of them. The two youngest were together in the back of the car. They were having a hard time spelling their names to me. They had to consult each other to tell me their names.
Did you ask them for their dates of birth?
I did.
Were they able to provide that to you?
After some time of consulting each other, they were.
What happened after they were placed in the patrol cars? They're sitting there.
I was very concerned for their welfare. I called SAR EMS to come to the scene to check on them.
Why were you scared for their welfare?
Based off of my observations inside that apartment, I didn't think it was a suitable place for anybody to be living.
Did STAR EMS arrive?
They did.
And were the children, were they transported to a hospital?
They were.
Which hospital?
McLaren Oakland in downtown Pontiac.
And did you follow the ambulance?
I did.
Did you go inside the hospital?
Yes.
Can you describe the children when they were in the hospital?
Yes. We took them out of the patrol cars, walked them inside. They were still having a very difficult time walking, hunched over. Arms
Would you say
extended
that's for
bodies.
all, I apologize, would you say that's for all three of the children or specific children?
Specifically the younger two, with the hunched over arms to the chest.
What happened after that?
They walked them inside. They went to the emergency department first, where they had their vitals checked. Nurses in the ER were also concerned that they hadn't had hygiene supplies in some time. So the children were transported upstairs, provided showers and general hygiene.
Did you, what did the children do with those hygiene supplies?
They were able to take a shower, brush their teeth, use the bathroom.
Is there anything noteworthy or anything that you noticed while they were provided those supplies?
Yes, the nurses were informing us that they were having.
And I'm gonna object to hearsay. I don't think you're that qualified.
They want to rephrase the question.
Of course.
That's the thing.
Did you make any observations of the children using the supplies, the hygiene supplies?
I made an observation of the children having a hard time flushing the toilet. They didn't understand how to flush the toilet.
And anything noteworthy about toothbrush and toothpaste?
They're just unfamiliar.
Were the children offered food at the hospital?
They were.
Anything noteworthy that happened when food arrived?
They did not eat at first. They waited until all three of them were together. The two youngest asked permission of the older brother if they were allowed to eat, and then they would only eat if everyone stepped out of the room.
How long would you say that you were at the hospital?
Several hours.
What happened where were you, I guess, while they were at the hospital?
I was just trying to make them the most comfortable, so I was standing outside of the room. I had contacted CPS, and I was just waiting for their arrival.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. Did you make any observations of the bathroom after the children brushed their teeth?
I don't recall.
Specifically in the sink, any observations?
I remember the sink had blood in it.
Now, going back to 660 Lydia Avenue, when you were doing the walkthrough of the condo, Did you see any hygiene products in the home?
I don't recall seeing anything.
Any toilet paper?
I don't recall.
And were the children wearing shoes in the home when you assessed them?
No.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Daniel or Mr. Guy?
Thank you. Good morning. Deputy Curtis, the photos that you referenced, that you went through and identified, when were those taken?
They were taken after the children were transported to the hospital.
And do you know how many deputies had already walked through that home when the photos were taken?
I don't know the exact number.
More than 10?
I'm not positive. I left.
Oh, okay, so you left and followed EMS to the hospital? Okay. How many deputies were on scene at the time that you left?
Around 10 probably.
Okay, and did they all go inside the home?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Now, you indicated that when you first entered the home and you attempted to see, do the walkthrough and see if anybody was in there, you then heard the voices from the one bathroom. Is that where you heard the cries from, or?
Crying, correct.
Okay, and then were you calling out for those children to come out?
Yes,
And did they respond to you at all?
they continue crying.
Okay, and then did the oldest child, you stated he came out of a bedroom, correct?
Correct.
Did he come out upon command, or did he just come out on his own?
He came out.
On his own?
Correct.
Okay, and then he told his sisters to then exit as well, correct?
Correct, I instructed him to.
Okay, and he followed that command, correct?
Yes.
And then he asked his sisters to come out?
Yes.
And then did they come out?
Yes.
Okay. And you already testified that they looked frightened, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree with me you were a stranger to them?
Yes.
You had never met these children before? All right, and you were in your law enforcement uniform?
Yes.
All right, so they would have seen that you were a police officer, correct?
Correct.
All right, and would you agree with me, if you know, do you know if anyone had ever been called to this home before? Meaning, is there a history of police interaction with this home?
Besides, like we mentioned the day prior, I'm not positive.
Okay, and so, to your knowledge, it wouldn't be an ordinary thing to have police officers or deputies at that particular home, correct?
Correct.
All right. It would be something unfamiliar to these children?
Yes.
All right. And how long had you been a deputy for?
Just under 6 years.
All right. And is it common for folks to be frightened or upset when they see the police or interact with the police?
I would say situation dependent.
Okay. So it happens, correct?
Correct.
All right. Not everybody is happy or excited to see you, is that correct?
Correct.
And some are frightened.
Right.
All right. Now, after transporting the children to the hospital, you were speaking to these children, correct, all along?
Yes.
And did they seem to understand what you were telling them?
Yes.
And were they speaking back to you? Were they responding to you?
Softly, yes.
Okay, but they had appropriate words, correct?
Yes.
And they could, I guess, have an appropriate conversation with you, if that makes sense?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. And you arrived to the hospital, and the children went in and they were offered hygiene products, correct?
Yes.
And I'm assuming you were not present when they actually took showers, is that fair?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and nobody else was either, is that correct?
The nurses at the hospital.
The nurses were there, okay. And the children took their showers and they put on different clothes, correct?
Yes.
All right. And were they interacting with the nurses as well?
Yes.
All right, and they were verbal with them and speaking to them, correct?
Yes.
And was this consistent throughout the time that you were there? Meaning that they were communicating?
It was on and off.
Okay. And you also indicated that the sisters, or the middle child and the youngest child, they were talking to each other about when their birthdays were?
They were,
But they were able to give you the information?
eventually.
And it was the correct information?
I believe so.
All right. And what about the oldest? Was he able to provide his details?
Yes.
You were not in there when they, I guess, brushed their teeth, or you indicated that there was some blood in the sink. You don't know how that arrived there. Is that fair?
I went in the bathroom after the fact.
And you didn't watch what was going on. Is that fair? Did the children eat?
Yes,
And what did they eat?
Little Caesar's Pizza.
Okay, is that what they requested?
They did request that.
So they were able to communicate to you what they'd like to eat. Is that correct?
Yes.
May I have one moment, Cameron? I have nothing else. Thank you, Deputy.
All right, everybody. I was trying to type a note to Queen. That was not the landlord. That was the first responding officer on the scene. And so I've got some court documents from the full hearing, and I need to get these things, get them sorted out, and share it with you guys. There was actually four testimonies from the pediatrician, from the investigator, from the prosecutor's office, and another sheriff. This testimony here was specifically from the first officer on the scene. He's talking about what he observed, the trash and the feces, going from all the way from the garage. The garage was apparently underneath the apartment, so it's like a townhouse type of apartment. And the trash was going all the way up from the garage, all the way up, and the feces as well. And the two girls were hiding in the bathroom, but there was feces. Not only was the toilet and the floors and stuff full of feces, the bathtub was full of feces. So they're not even sure where these girls were hiding or sitting. They were apparently just sitting in this refuse. So it's like really a traumatic case, and the damage that she's done to these children. And I'm listening to this defense attorney asking this officer, were the children able to give him their names and their age? But what child has to, 13 and 14-year-olds have to talk to each other to figure out how to spell their name, figure out when their birthday is, all of those types of things. I mean, these children were severely and grossly neglected, besides the, on top of the abuse. They didn't know how to use the toothbrushes. The hospital had to put them in showers, all of these things that, yeah, just horrific, virtuous, it's unbelievable what these parents are doing to these kids. And again, how the systemic failures of CPS, the police departments, and all of that, that these children can virtually go missing and no one notices, no one calls. The landlord called the police for a welfare check, but he hadn't heard or seen from the mother in years. Not a couple months. She hadn't paid her rent or anything. So nobody, she had taken, to show you how low down the case is, she literally took out the smoke detectors just in case they set something on fire, and so the smoke detectors wouldn't go off. So it's really, really, it's really bad. Let me see. Queen says, hold on. They hadn't been to school exactly. How do they not go to school and nobody calls home? the school has officers to do a welfare check. Exactly. When I was going to school, they would come out to the house. How can you go months without paying rent? Exactly. Well, apparently she went years without paying rent. So it's unbelievable. So, but yeah, again, this is a gross neglect case, and I don't. I'm interested to see. They're not in. They haven't gone to trial yet. They're still doing these preliminary exams, but I'm interested to see exactly how these attorneys plan on defending her. But that's what they do for a living, so I'm sure they have something in the hopper. Probably, though, normally in cases like this, where uh, there's no real defense, I noticed that attorneys will uh, generally try to go for reducing, getting them as the least amount of time possible, trying to get time cut off their sentences by presenting what they call mitigating factors. Um, where, okay, we got all of these aggravating factors that, okay, she abandoned the children, she left them in deplorable conditions and all of that. But uh, she did come to feed them, or she did make sure that they had food or whatever. Or, they may come up with little things that they think will get some of the time shaved off that they could possibly do. Queen says, going to say she's mentally ill. That's their best bet. And quite frankly, I would venture to say that there is something wrong with her. When I look at this young woman, she does look to be not all there. Virtue says folks gonna be dropping their responsibility in other people's lap. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually, yeah, these types of cases they try to set a precedence and make an example out of, which is like you said, because all that'll happen is other people will start to try to do this type of things and get away with it. Uh, yeah, she didn't unalive them exactly. Things like that, that they think may, yeah, they give meds in prison. They sure do. Yep, they sure do. I mean, you can get full medical care, period, in jail. Um, yeah, but Queen makes a point. They will go as far as to say, well, at least she didn't kill him, which is ridiculous, of course. But the point of it is that they've got to find something to mitigate the damages that she inflicted on these children. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up another live stream probably for tomorrow. I may come back later on today and go over all of the court documents and to see exactly where they are and get us all caught up on the channel as far as the case is concerned. Because like I said, guys, I had surgery in April and I was out of commission for a few months. I'm still rehabbing. I'm still recuperating. So, but at any rate, which is why I'm not on camera, by the way. Uh, so at any rate, um, I'm going to put up another live stream to go over all the court documents, look at all the court dates and what we have, and get us all caught up on the case. Because there's a lot of good testimony and things like that that they did not show that you guys need to hear. Queen says there's a mom that just shot and unalive 4 kids, her 4 kids. There's a lot of bad moms now. Yeah. Wow, these moms are getting worse. Back in the day, I didn't see exactly. Yeah, it's a different time. These kids are being trafficked and everything by the parents. Bertram says she needs to be locked up minimum 10 years. Yeah, if not more, because these kids are going to be traumatized for life. You think about their arrested development. Um, they didn't even know how to use a toothbrush. They did not even, if you heard the officer, if you heard him talking about when they actually took them to the hospital, um, he talked about the fact that they didn't even understand the concept of flushing a toilet, no less knowing how to just move the handle and flush the excrement into the commode or whatever. Yeah, they had no idea how to even flush a toilet. They didn't know how to brush their teeth. These are adolescent children. Okay, so the arrested development and everything, they are going to be, I don't know how many, if not for the rest of their lives, damaged by that whole experience. Yeah. Uh, Let me see. I hadn't heard about that case. Yes, they knew nothing of basic things. Right. Yeah. They didn't know anything. And then what I find interesting is they wouldn't even eat until the brother gave them permission. They wouldn't come out the bathroom. The brother had to make them come out. They wouldn't listen to the officers, but when their brother said come out of the bathroom, they came out. Did y'all catch that? Wow. Interesting case. I'll look up the other one. Queen, when you see me put up another live, I'm going to put it up in just a little bit. Um, yeah, Virtuous, you caught that? Yeah, very interesting. Now, why is that? And apparently, the Kelly, the mother, only communicated with the boy. She hadn't seen the girls at all. They hadn't even been outside. They were not allowed outside. The boy did go outside and touch the grass or something, they said. So he was going in and out the house. Plus, he would meet her at the door or whatever. She would hand him the food, and he had the cell phone to contact the mother, Kelly. So, what is that about? It's very weird things going on with this case. So okay. So I'm not going to let my imagination run wild, but I tell you what, it's more, much more to this story. So okay. So but anyway, I'm going to put up the other live stream, and we'll go over all of the court documents. I'll let you guys see. Let's see, which one is it? I know you guys can probably hear my dog, and we can look at some of the motions too. Uh, where is it? Yeah, here we go. Where it? Let me see. So these are the court documents. Let Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Oh, wow. I wonder why that okay, I don't understand it. All right, so these are the court documents I was showing you guys. I apologize. I don't know why that it wouldn't there was no sound or whatever at first, but at any rate, these are the court documents. And they are now let me know if the sound goes back out, but you should be able to hear me. Um, the officer that we just heard was Quincy Curtis. He was the first responding officer on the scene. He's a patrol deputy with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. He responded to the dispatch call from the landlord to do a welfare check. If you guys hear my dog, please excuse him. Uh, Braxton likes to sit in the front door and bark at people. Um, at any rate, so there's testimony from him. Mary Elizabeth Smith, she is the pediatrician who examined the children. She has some interesting testimony that you guys need to know about. And Investigator Brian Martin from the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, that's going to give us some better, deeper insight into what they've discovered in this case. And Detective John Brish, also from the Oakland County Department, Sheriff's Department. Then you have the exhibits. There's 20 photos. Um, I guess, well, 24 photos. And then the care house interviews. Those are the forensic interviews done with the children at the care house is a CPS agency, an arm of the Child Protective Services. So I wanted you guys to see that because that is all of that testimony. What you heard from the officer, there's still three other people that they did not show. But I have the court documents so we know what was said. And that's what we're going to go over. So I'll probably do this tomorrow afternoon because it's going to take some time to go through all the documents to get us caught up on the case and find and figure out where we are. So let's get together tomorrow afternoon and get through that, and then get it. Let's get all caught up on this case and the other. Also, please, you guys, listen. I am doing. I am showing. Let me bring up this flyer. The latest documentary on the Murdaugh murders down there in North Carolina. I'm gonna be doing oh wow, where is I'm trying to log in. All right, so let me all right, hold on. All right, so we're gonna be doing showing the Murdaugh murders on Discord. We're going to be showing the Murdaugh murders on Discord, and so I want you guys um to go over to Discord and sign up to follow, not sign up, but go over there and follow the server for our server on Community Advocate Network on Discord. You do not need an account to follow the server. You can actually participate, watch the movie with us and everything without signing up or creating an account, is what I'm trying to say. But at any rate, it's the Murdaugh, the latest documentary. It's on Hulu. A lot of people canceled their Hulu and Disney subscriptions behind the Jimmy Kimmel night show cancellation. So you don't, if you guys are still picketing or protesting Hulu and Disney, you don't have to renew your subscriptions to watch this documentary or movie on these this family annihilator Alex Murdaugh down there in the Low Country in South Carolina. Fascinating case. I was totally obsessed with this case last year and this year as well. But at any rate, I'm going to show that movie on Discord on October the 15th. It's a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. It's over on, if you check the community page, it's on the community page, Virtuous, the link to the Discord channel. You didn't know about the Jimmy thing? Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel is bumping heads with President Trump. And yeah, come and join us. I'm trying to get as many people as I can. I haven't been real successful at getting people to come and do the movie nights. So, y'all come and you don't have to turn on your cameras or anything. You can but we can talk to each other through our microphones in real time. So you don't have to be seen or anything. We'll just be able to talk to each other. Now you do have an option to turn on your video if you want, but you don't have to. And we can actually talk and interact with each other while the movie is playing and have our live reactions and all of that. It's real cool and it's real fun. So I hope you guys will join us for this. I'm really trying to get and pass the word along to get as many people. I'm trying to get as many people as possible to participate. So let me know that you are going to participate by hitting the like button on the post on under the community tab on the channel page. All right. So other than that, I'm going to log off and we'll get together tomorrow afternoon. I'll put the live stream up in just a little bit so that we can get together and go over, get caught up on the Kelli Bryant Squalor Mom case and get us all up to date on the channel. All right, everybody have a good one. Have a great afternoon. Continue to keep me in your prayers while I am still recuperating from this surgery and all of that. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later and look for the live stream. I'll put it up in just a little bit. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one. Enjoy more of our videos on the Community Advocate Network channel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to advertise your service, special announcement, or event, you may contact us at the Community Advocate Network at gmail.com. For community resources or services, visit our website at www.canmichigan.com.